I gave my husband two choices: accept that I was reconnecting with my ex or stay out of my way while I did it anyway. He chose option 3, told me to start packing before he fixed my ex's face. Okay, here goes. I, 38F, need to vent because I honestly don't know if I'm just delusional or if I'm really right in this situation. So, I've been married to Joe, 41M, for 14 years. We've got 2 kids, and for most of those years, everything was fine. We were happy, at least I thought we were. Sure, we had our ups and downs, what marriage doesn't, but I thought we were solid. Fast forward to a few months ago, and I started reconnecting with my ex, Larry. Now before anyone gets all judgy, let me explain. It wasn't like I was going out of my way to cheat. Larry and I had been really close back in the day, and after he reached out to me for closure, his words not mine, we just started talking. Nothing intense, just texting and catching up on life. But here's the thing, I didn't realize how much it would stir up old feelings. I thought I was doing it for closure, like a good self-aware adult. But then out of nowhere I started feeling those stupid butterflies again. You know, the ones. And then I realized I was looking forward to our late night chats more than I should have been. It's a bad feeling when you can't even remember the last time you were excited to talk to your husband like that. At first, I felt a little guilty, but also kind of alive again. Joe had been distant, work was crazy, and honestly, I felt like I was doing all the emotional labor in the marriage. Joe was fine with it, at least he acted like he was. He'd occasionally say things like, "You need closure," or "I'm not stopping you," but I could tell it was bothering him deep down. He just wasn't confrontational, which in hindsight was probably one of the biggest mistakes in this whole thing. So, I figured I would lay out the situation for him. I'm not one to hide stuff, right? I don't believe in secrets. So one night, I sat him down and gave him 2 choices. Yep, you heard that right. I gave him 2 options. Option 1. He could accept that I was reconnecting with Larry and maybe even let it go, knowing that it wasn't romantic, even though between you and me, it absolutely was getting there. Option 2. He could stay out of my way while I did it anyway. I thought it was fair, he's either on board with it or he's not. I figured he'd be upset, but maybe come around. You know, like, try to fight for our relationship. I honestly expected him to pick option 1, but no, that's not what happened. Joe didn't argue, didn't yell, didn't beg, or get emotional. He just listened. The silence was unnerving, but I thought maybe he was processing it. But then, about an hour later, Joe pulled out a folder. And I'm not even exaggerating here. He just calmly handed it to me and said, "Pack your stuff. You're done here." I'm not even kidding. This man handed me papers with a prepared separation agreement, a list of storage facilities, a moving company contact, and a timeline, all neatly laid out as if he'd been planning this for a while. I was shocked. I thought he'd fight for me. I thought he'd get angry, or at least try to argue his case. But instead, he was cold, calm. In a way, it was almost worse. He didn't yell, he didn't make a scene. He just looked at me and said, "If you're so excited about reconnecting with another man, then go. But not from my house." I thought it was a bluff. I really did. But no. Joe wasn't playing around. He told me I had 72 hours to move out, change the garage code, and then walked away. Like, that was it. Done. I was left standing there, speechless, humiliated, embarrassed. I didn't know what to think. So I did what any reasonable person would do. I tried to manipulate him, of course. I tried crying. I tried guilt-tripping him. I even tried explaining that this was just for closure and that it wasn't what it seemed. Nothing. He didn't budge. It wasn't until I called Larry to vent that I really started to realize how much of a mess I'd made. Larry, my ex, wasn't supportive at all. He told me I was being dramatic and that he didn't want to be involved in anyone's marriage problems. That was it. He told me we shouldn't even meet up in person anymore, and I was left with nothing but my own mess to deal with. I tried to stay at the house anyway. Joe called a locksmith. He changed the front lock while I stood on the porch. He handed me 2 trash bags with my essentials and told me to schedule a time with his lawyer to get the rest of my things. I was still standing there, dumbfounded, as he drove off. I moved in with my sister, but I'm so angry right now. I feel humiliated, confused, and completely out of control. Everyone keeps telling me I'm in the wrong, but I'm not sure. Was I wrong for giving him an ultimatum? Was I wrong for wanting to reconnect with Larry, even though it's not like I was trying to leave Joe for him? I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. So Reddit, am I the asshole here for giving my husband those 2 choices? Update 1. So I'm a mess right now, but things have escalated even more since my last post. I've been living at my sister's place, trying to process everything, but I'm honestly just so furious and confused at this point. Joe really did kick me out. I didn't think he would actually go through with it, but here we are. The first few hours after Joe kicked me out were just shock. I couldn't believe it. I thought he was going to at least try to talk it out, but no. He's made it clear that this is it. When I tried to fight him on it, he didn't even flinch. And then, as if it wasn't bad enough, he revoked my access to everything. I don't just mean the house, I mean everything. First, he froze the joint credit cards. I thought, okay, maybe that's a bit extreme, but whatever. Then he had me removed from the shared phone plan. My phone was just suddenly dead, gone. It gets worse. He called the insurance company and switched everything over. Not just my phone, he removed my car from the insurance. I was left scrambling, with no car, no access to anything that was even partially shared between us. I had to scramble to figure out how I was going to get anywhere. Joe made sure that nothing was available to me anymore. I felt completely powerless. And of course, I tried to use the "but the house is half mine" argument. I thought for sure that would get through to him. I was prepared to lay out how much I had contributed to our life together, how much I had sacrificed over the years, especially with the kids. But Joe just looked at me, totally calm, and said, "Your name isn't on the deed. My father gave me this house years before we even met." And honestly, I had no idea. I didn't know the house wasn't in both of our names. I didn't know it was a gift from his father. I just assumed we owned it together. So that was a slap in the face. I thought I knew everything about our life, but I was wrong. So there I was, in my sister's guest room, trying to hold it together. I was crying, but I don't even think Joe cares. I begged him to listen. I told him this was just about closure, that reconnecting with Larry wasn't even a big deal, but Joe wasn't hearing any of it. And then, to really make sure I got the message, Joe said, "You don't give your husband ultimatums about another man and stay married. It's over." I didn't know what to do with that. I tried everything. I tried crying, guilt-tripping him, explaining that it was all just closure. But no matter what, he wouldn't budge. I honestly thought he'd cave eventually. He didn't. I was absolutely humiliated. I called Larry for help. Maybe he'd say something that would make me feel better. But of course, Larry wasn't helpful at all. He told me I was being dramatic, that he didn't want to be caught up in anyone else's drama. He even told me flat out that he didn't think we should meet up anymore, and that stung. I thought he'd be the one to help me through this, but instead, he just completely backed off. I was left alone, humiliated, with no one to turn to. And if I'm being honest, I'm ashamed to admit this, but I tried to go back to the house. I don't know why I was angry. I was desperate. I just didn't want to accept that this was really happening. I thought maybe if I could just get inside, we could talk more. But Joe wasn't having any of it. When I got there, he called a locksmith. I'm not even kidding. He changed the locks while I was standing right there on the porch. He handed me 2 trash bags with my essentials, just like I was some stranger he didn't know. And then, as if it wasn't enough, he told me I could schedule a time with his lawyer to get the rest of my things. I can't even describe how that felt. To stand there, completely shut out of the life I thought I had built, with nothing but a couple of bags of clothes, was beyond humiliating. And now, I'm sitting here at my sister's place, trying to figure out what to do next. I don't know if I'm even processing this right. I still feel so blindsided. Joe's lawyer has already sent me a letter, which is just a reminder that this is real, that my life is unraveling, and that there's no way back from this. I'm still angry, but I'm also scared. I'm scared of losing everything, even though I brought this on myself. I guess I thought I could control things, that I could make Joe see my side. But now, I don't know where to go from here. I know I messed up, but I feel so out of control right now. I keep wondering if Joe is going to come around, but part of me knows he won't. I've pushed him too far, and the worst part? I don't know how to fix it. I'm stuck. And to be honest, I don't know how I got here. But that's the update for now. I'll try to update more when I can. Update 2. Okay, so I'm back, and honestly, things have just gone downhill from where I left off. After the whole eviction thing, I thought I'd have time to process and get my head straight. But instead, I just feel like I'm getting steamrolled by reality. First of all, Joe has gone full ghost mode on me. No kidding. He's blocked my number. He's blocked me on email. He's even blocked me on our banking apps, which, let me tell you, was the last straw. I didn't think it was possible to feel more isolated, but here we are. I keep getting locked out of anything that even remotely connects me to him, and I don't even know how to get in touch with him now. I tried, I really did. I showed up at the house thinking maybe, just maybe, I could catch him while he was still in a mood to talk. But nope, Joe wasn't having any of it. He called the police on me. He didn't even yell or get upset, he just calmly told them my ex-wife-to-be is trespassing. Like I was a random stranger trying to break into his house. I was completely humiliated. The police showed up, they didn't even look at me like they were taking me seriously. They just handed me some papers, a temporary no-contact order, a move-out enforcement notice, and a formal separation petition. So now I'm officially locked out of everything. No access to the house, no access to any shared accounts, and definitely no access to Joe. But that wasn't even the worst part. The worst part came when I tried calling Larry again. I thought maybe he could help me. I don't know, maybe talk some sense into Joe. But Larry? He basically told me to stop dragging him into this whole mess. He said I was making things way more complicated than they needed to be, and then he dropped the bombshell. He straight up told me he never wanted to be with me, that he was just flirty with me. So, let's just say that hit me hard. I thought Larry was the one who was going to help me get back at Joe. I thought he cared more than just as a friend, but now I see it he didn't, and now I'm stuck with nothing, not even him. At this point, I started getting obsessive about trying to prove to myself that Joe still cares. You know that feeling when you just can't accept that it's over? That was me. I showed up at his workplace. I didn't even care about whether I was welcome or not. I just needed to see if he would react. He didn't. He just walked right past me like I was invisible. No words, no emotion, nothing. He didn't even acknowledge my existence. Then, to make matters worse, Joe's sister decided to message me, and she wasn't trying to offer any sympathy or support. No, she basically told me to stop embarrassing myself. She said Joe was relieved to be rid of me. That was it, the final dagger. I won't lie, I lost it. I've spent years fighting for this marriage, fighting for our life together, and now I'm just nothing. I'm nothing to Joe, and that stings. I know I pushed him too far, but hearing that from his sister made it even more real. And for the first time, I wasn't just upset. I was completely broken, but not in the way you'd think. It wasn't regret. It wasn't guilt. It was just this overwhelming feeling that I'd lost control of everything, and now I couldn't get it back. So, yeah, I've been trying to keep it together, but I'm definitely losing it. The reality of what I've done is starting to set in. Joe is gone. Larry was never really there. My life is a wreck, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't even know what's next, but I'll keep you posted. I don't think I can turn this around, but I'm not done yet. Not yet. Update 3. Well, things have escalated even further, and I honestly don't know where to begin. It feels like the more I try to hold on to some sort of control, the more it slips through my fingers. First off, I tried to go for the sympathy card. I went to a few friends and told them Joe had been emotionally abusive towards me. That was a mistake. Not only did it backfire spectacularly, but I also had a couple of people side with Joe, which is honestly embarrassing. One of my friends even leaked the screenshots of me sending him that ultimatum, you know, the one where I gave him the two choices to either accept me reconnecting with Larry or stay out of the way. So much for trying to make myself look like the victim. I won't lie. I thought if I told people about how hurt I was, they'd see that I was just misunderstood. But no. Instead, it just exposed me even more. Joe wasn't the bad guy here. And now I'm the one being painted as the crazy, manipulative one. It's like everything I tried to do to win is backfiring. Then, I thought I could fix this by seeing Larry. Maybe if I could make things work with him, he'd be my escape. But no, I showed up at his place and, well, he dropped another bombshell on me. He's got a girlfriend. She's living with him now. And he basically told me I was making things messy by trying to come into his life again. It was like I was the last person he wanted anything to do with. I left there feeling like I'd just been slapped in the face. All this time, I thought Larry was the one who was going to be my support, my way out of all this chaos. But he wasn't. He's moved on. And I'm still stuck in this mess I created, so now I'm living with my sister. Well, sort of. She's let me crash at her place for now, but honestly, it's just another reminder of how much I've messed up. She's already warned me that I'm bringing chaos into her home, and I can tell she's getting fed up. It's like everyone I try to lean on is just pushing me away. And to top it all off, Joe's lawyer reached out to me. Apparently, he's ready to start dividing everything up. The pets? Yeah, he gets both of them. The cars? All in his name, so they go with him too. And as for the furniture? Most of it's his. So, all those things I thought I could claim are just slipping through my fingers. I've got almost nothing left to hold on to. I tried emailing Joe from a new address. I thought maybe, just maybe, if I could get a message through to him, he'd reconsider. But nope. His lawyer responded instead. The message was crystal clear. My client will not be communicating with you directly. All future attempts will be processed legally. It's like I've completely lost my chance to fix anything. I'll admit something to you all that I can't admit to myself yet. Joe was always the stable one in this relationship. He was the rock I constantly tried to walk all over, and now I'm reaping what I sowed. He had a plan, and he stuck to it. Meanwhile, I've been spinning out of control, desperately trying to prove that I'm right, when all I've really done is burn every bridge I had. I'm not ready to give up yet. I don't know why, but I can't help but feel like I can still turn this around. I know I'm probably just lying to myself, but I have to try. The thought of just letting it all go and accepting that I've lost everything. It's just not something I can do yet. So, no, I'm not done yet. But at this point, I don't even know what I'm fighting for anymore. I'll update again when I can, but for now, I'm just trying to pick up the pieces of what's left. Final update. It's been a few weeks, and I'm done. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Everything has completely fallen apart. The thing is, I was so sure that I'd come out of this on top, but instead, I've lost everything. And yes, I know it's my own fault, but it still stings. Let's start with the court hearing. I was honestly hoping, even though deep down I knew it was a long shot, that the judge might see things my way. But no, they looked at everything my ultimatum, the fact that I admitted to reconnecting with Larry, and they made it clear that Joe owed me nothing, not a single cent. I didn't even get spousal support. The judge basically told me I dug my own hole, and that was that. Joe got the house. He got the pets. Hell, he even got most of the assets. It was like everything I thought we built together just evaporated. But the worst part? The worst part was the no contact order. That thing was the final nail in the coffin. Joe doesn't owe me a damn thing. And legally, I can't even talk to him anymore. I have to keep my distance, by law. And let's not forget that Joe didn't just win everything material, he's already moved on. Turns out he's dating someone new. Someone I always felt insecure about. A coworker. Someone who, for some reason, I could never shake that feeling of jealousy over. Now, here they are, and it's like a slap in the face every time I think about it. It's pathetic, but I can't help but spiral. I tried reaching out to him. I did. I even went as far as messaging him from a fake number, thinking maybe he'd respond, just out of curiosity or guilt. But no. He immediately forwarded the message to his lawyer, who warned me that if I contacted him again, I could be facing legal consequences. And you know what? I deserved it. I ended up moving into a small, rundown apartment. I told myself I was finding myself, but let's be real. It's just a tiny box where I can hardly afford the rent. The walls feel like they're closing in on me, and I can't escape the reality that I've lost everything. As for my reflection, well, I guess it's clear now. Joe didn't chase me. He didn't beg for me back. He wasn't heartbroken. And Larry? Yeah, he didn't want me either. It was all just a distraction, a fantasy I built in my head. All that time, I thought I was the one in control, pulling all the strings, but in the end, it was me who got played. I'm still sitting here, alone, broke, unstable. I'm not saying I didn't bring this on myself, because I did, but I'll never admit to myself that I'm the villain in this story. I've convinced myself I did nothing wrong, that Joe was too harsh, that Larry was the answer, but deep down, I know the truth. I messed up, and now I have to live with it.